So baby, let's just go. Yeah, I really wanna let you know.
Oh, good morning. It's the AM show on 3 Magic Talk and online. We're 60 minutes away from 9. Good morning. Lovely to have you here today. British MPs have voted against, news just in, British MPs have voted against Boris Johnson's motion for a general election. He needed the support of 2/3 of the House, but Labour, SNP and the Lib Dems have said they will vote against him. So that means there will not be, you can take it, there will not be that October 15 election. It's really simple to understand, isn't it? Tomorrow we'll probably take you back there live. The Kiwibuild Reset has just taken a turd and rolled it in glitter. That is not a quote from Mark. It's in fact what Debbie Roberts thinks of this government policy. She is from Property Apprentice. She's our friend, although I'm not sure anymore. Debbie joins me now to explain. Please explain yourself.
My husband said I wasn't allowed to say that.
I said it for you.
You did say it
Yes.
for me, but they kind of have. My personal opinion is that they should have dropped the whole Kiwibuild thing like a hot rock, left the private development sector to sort out the housing issue.
Yes.
They need to work on fixing the problem, which is the cost of building products, and the Resource Management Act
And
helps
land.
sort that out.
Well, RMA is land,
Yep.
where the boundaries are. And Full Time is looking at that.
Yep. So focus on that. I think before I put the boot in,
Too late.
there are some good things potentially
Like what?
that came out of this announcement.
Name 3.
Okay, I can actually. There are 3 good things.
Okay.
So first of all, reducing the amount of deposit. So reducing it from 10% to qualify for the Welcome Home Loan and the Home Start grant. So 10% down to 5%. I think that's great. Doubling the maximum for the Home Start grant. So now instead of 10K, you could potentially get 20 as a deposit.
Rules
On
keep
that,
changing,
though,
don't they? I mean, every generation gets a different rule.
yeah, they do. And on that, the example that they gave, or that the Housing Minister Megan Woods gave, she said if there's a household with a combined income of $140,000 that are looking to purchase a $700,000 property. Okay, so the issue that I saw with that is that the current household income cap for Welcome Home loans, the current income cap for the household is 130.
Yes.
So I've seen nothing to say that they've raised that cap. So the example that she gave of 140K means that they wouldn't qualify for that example that she gave.
And in Wellington, the houses are going to be $50,000 more expensive.
Yeah. So this brings me back to another. So on still back to the good things. I know, like I said, I want to provide a balanced view
I can't believe
here.
there's so many.
I know. So the progressive home ownership scheme, I think that that's got potential. I can't wait to see what they announce as far as the equity share and the rent to buy schemes. I think if they're done well, that could be brilliant.
Where's an example of them being done well at the moment?
Through
Is it Habitat for Humanity?
Yes, Habitat
And
for
I think
Humanity.
they
That's working well.
Did 200 in the past year? Does that sound right?
I think so. I haven't double-checked those figures, but yeah.
Will it be a game changer though?
I think it's going to make a huge difference if it's done well, and that's the crux of it. So we don't know any details about that yet. At the moment, banks don't like rent-to-buys. So banks aren't lending for people that are in a rent-to-buy system.
So if you think about rent-to-own, it sounds simple. Is it?
No.
Okay. I mean, of course it's not simple. So how does it work?
Yeah, so there's a variety of different ways that they can be put together, and that's why I'm looking forward to seeing how the government puts these together and how they get the bank to come on board with that, because at the moment the banks aren't lending on them. So, yeah, but there's a variety of different ways. So either the amount of rent that the person pays would be the equivalent of a mortgage, and a percentage of that goes towards the purchase price to help towards their deposit. Or
it's complicated, isn't it?
It
then
is
there's multiple owners that can come in, so you can have your brother and your sister might come in, and you might get your cousin as well.
Yep,
and
exactly.
Maybe one more from Invercargill, and then you bring them all in and say, right, they're here.
Yeah, so we still also need to wait for the bank's response to this announcement, because at the moment, although the Housing Minister said we can do this, they still need to meet bank lending criteria.
Can they direct Kiwibank? They can't, can they? There's no way they could.
Don't think they can.
No.
I could be wrong on that, but I don't think they can.
No targets this morning. There was no targets. There's
so
no
that's
dates. There's no
amazing.
timelines. There's nothing. It's as wishy-washy as the last one.
Yeah. Now the thing that pricked my ears up when I was watching the recording of the Housing Minister's statement, she said that there were going to be 3 prices: this, concerns me. So 3 prices: the underwrite price, which is the government buyback from the developers if they don't sell to Kiwibuild. So there's going to be the underwrite price, market price, and Kiwibuild price.
And
which order does that come in?
I don't know.
So that to me,
Probably
and
the
then
order
she
you've
said,
just given, actually.
well, she said that developers would make the greatest return when they sold directly to a Kiwibuild buyer. So that suggests that the Kiwibuild price is going to give the developers the maximum
Yes,
profit,
return, yes.
which potentially means that Kiwibuild is going to be sold at a premium.
Well, it's a premium policy.
No, I mean, like that's a question that needs to be asked, because if they're selling Kiwibuild to Kiwibuild buyers above market value, all new developments, in order to get lending, you need to get a registered valuation.
Yes.
If the registered valuation comes in lower than the purchase price, the banks will not lend 95% on
So you're saying
price.
the whole policy could still get blown up in their face?
Yeah, well, look, even if we look at what's happening in the property market, there's a couple of areas in New Zealand where the property market is starting to show signs of recovery, and that would be Auckland and Christchurch.
So you're talking recovery already here?
Yeah, early stages of recovery. That could all get shot in the foot if we go into a global recession.
Does that excite you?
So if the property market hits a downturn, then that's going to reduce demand for people buying houses. So that sort of sets this whole thing up for failure. But also...
What a disaster. I mean,
honestly.
A brain fart in the back of the car by Annette King about 7 years ago, when they said 50,000 houses, became another brain fart at 100,000 houses, and now this.
Yep. So if you were a developer, if you were going to make the biggest amount of profit by selling to a Kiwibuild buyer, this is what so developers make profit on the difference between their cost to build and the cost, the price that they sell the property for. So it depends on which order this comes in. Like if Kiwibuild's premium, then obviously that's the incentive. But why would anyone in their right mind want to pay above market value for a property?
But the thing has really got a bad name.
Yeah. So the flip side of that is that if it comes in so that market value's higher than Kiwibuild, why would developers want to get involved in the Kiwibuild if they can make a bigger profit by developing a property and selling it on a fair open market?
If people want to get in touch with you, they can get in touch with you how? Because some of that stuff is quite technical and they want to go through it with you.
Yeah, so propertyapprentice.co.nz.
Brilliant. Well said, Debbie Roberts. Appreciate your time.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to see you. We'll do it again another day.
Hey, but let's not forget that they really do love our Prime Minister overseas.
Yeah.
Well, she's brilliant. Climate changey thing in France.
Go
to the break.
Vaccinations are I just wanted to give Mark time, you see, to think further. Vaccinations are forefront and centre right now, but many kids just hate needles, and adults. We've got some ways to mitigate the anxiety. That's next. Good morning.
Don't worry about